Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are seeking to dismiss Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit against them.
Justin Baldoni countersued defamation, saying that the couple sought to destroy his career and hijacked his film, It Ends With Us.
When Ryan Reynolds woke up to his own face splashed across Time's glossy cover, most fans saw another win for Hollywood's friendliest superhero. But peel back the varnish, and that photo might be a low-key panic button. In the span of 2 months, Reynolds and Blake Lively collected matching trophies from a magazine now owned by a tech billionaire who laughs off mass layoffs while hosting champagne-soaked retreats for the 1%. At the very same moment, Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit lurked like an unexploded grenade under the red carpet. Add a backstage whisper that It Ends With Us turned toxic overnight, and you get a collision course that even Deadpool can't wisecrack away. Tonight, we'll follow the money, decode the magazine spin, and slip inside those off-record wine cellars where favors change hands faster than stock options. By the end, you'll decide whether Reynolds is carving his own legend, or just playing the world's flashiest pawn. For casual readers, Blake Lively's spot on the Time 100 felt like an innocent victory lap. One of the most influential people of 2025, trumpeted on April 18th. Dig deeper, and the accolade rested mostly on a single NAACP donation she quietly made in 2019. Commendable, yes, but hardly front-page news 5 years later. Industry watchers noticed the timing. No blockbuster, no breakout series, yet a primetime feature alongside vaccine scientists and climate pioneers. Stranger still, Time skipped her husband entirely, until the sequel cover dropped. Just 7 weeks later, Ryan Reynolds appeared in Time's 100 Most Influential Companies, celebrating his advertising shop, Maximum Effort, for reinventing snackable marketing. 2 separate issues, 2 glossy shoots, 1 power couple suddenly controlling 2 news cycles. Public relations veterans whispered that Time had never granted a married duo such perfectly spaced limelight without a coordinated pitch. The rumored price? Not dollars, but access. Exclusive interviews, social blast commitments, and the guarantee that Reynolds would champion Time across every brand he owns. Aviation Gin, Mint Mobile, Wrexham AFC, even his Deadpool trailer. Seen through this lens, the awards stop looking like spontaneous applause and start resembling strategic camouflage. By showering the couple with halo headlines, Time effectively front-loaded public goodwill. Handy insulation, just before lawyers cracked open discovery files that could scorch reputations. But if trophy timing was deliberate, who brokered the deal so cleanly? That answer hides in backroom suites where NDAs are thicker than the carpets. Step away from paparazzi flashes and you'll find The Weekend, an annual off-grid rendezvous in Jackson Hole where Silicon Valley titans, studio monarchs, and Fortune 50 CEOs pass lattes across mahogany tables, while drones sweep the perimeter. Salesforce billionaire Marc Benioff, the current owner of Time, chairs fireside chats about ethical capitalism between sunrise yoga and midnight caviar. His frequent co-host, Ari Emanuel, Hollywood's deal shark, and Ryan Reynolds' super agent, known for turning cell phone pings into 9-figure contracts before the lobster course arrives. Attendees swear the event is just networking, yet a predictable pattern follows. A digital bank startup lands a prime-time feature weeks after sponsoring the retreat. A director gains surprise backing from Emanuel's endeavor merely days after a private breakfast with Benioff. No official quid pro quo, only strategic friendships sealed with vintage Bordeaux. Even the guest list is a state secret, guarded by facial recognition gates and confiscated smartphones. Place Reynolds and Lively inside that ecosystem and the timeline clicks together. Need urgent reputation armor because a co-star's defamation suit threatens your soft drink ad buy? Tap Emanuel? Exchange pleasantries with Benioff? Weave a philanthropy revival angle and voila, Time stands ready with a double-issue showcase. Critics call this cozy synergy soft corruption, yet no laws get broken. Magazines retain editorial independence. On record. Off record, covers become chess pieces swapped among billionaires who collectively own the platforms, the content, and increasingly, the algorithms feeding them to us. And once that machinery revved up, Justin Baldoni's legal broadside slammed straight into its spinning gears. It Ends With Us was supposed to mint tear-jerking ticket sales and Instagram reels of Reynolds hugging Labradors on set. Instead, the production morphed into a legal war zone. According to insiders, tensions flared when Blake Lively lodged a workplace harassment grievance against co-star producer Justin Baldoni, claiming retaliation after she pressed safety concerns. That complaint crept through hush-hush studio channels until the story leaked to the New York Times. Baldoni fired back, detonating a $400 million countersuit that listed Lively, Ryan Reynolds, their publicist, and The Times as co-conspirators in an alleged smear campaign aimed at nuking his directing prospects. The case landed on the docket of U.S. District Judge Louis J. Lyman, who dismissed major defamation counts in early June 2025, but allowed Baldoni to amend narrower claims of breach of implied covenant and tortious interference by June 23rd. In a headline-grabbing twist, Lyman also greenlit subpoenas for Lively's text chains with Taylor Swift, ruling they might reveal motive or PR strategy, promptly sucking Swift's fan base into the frenzy. Swift's attorneys pushed back, tabloids gorged, and TikTok spliced Taylor-subpoenaed montages that racked up millions of views, eclipsing the film's marketing teaser within hours. Meanwhile, production insurance soared, prop vendors demanded cash up front, and a second unit schedule was quietly pared down to trim exposure. Baldoni's lawyers tallied lost directing offers, arguing damages ballooned each time Reynolds' meme machine dunked on the lawsuit. Overnight, a steamy novel adaptation mutated into a Discovery Day blockbuster, and every fresh court filing threatened to weld Ryan Reynolds, nice guy, to pending conspiracy litigation. That looming connection made the back-to-back Time covers look less like spontaneous applause and more like emergency armor forged before the first subpoena even left the mailroom. Ryan Reynolds' empire once felt Teflon-proof. Sarcastic tweets turned into Aviation gin viral ads, which morphed into Netflix cameos that fed a soccer team docuseries. But scandals spread faster than brand refreshes. Within days of Baldoni's court filing, Aviation's marketing dashboards flagged a 23% uptick in negative keyword pairings, everything from lawsuit gin to boycott Blake. The scheduled Father's Day campaign swapped cheeky copy for ambiguous, coming soon placeholders, costing six-figure ad buys and summer sales. Mint Mobile faced its own PR audit. With regulators already scrutinizing T-Mobile's acquisition, Reynolds' lawsuits were cited in risk memos circulated among FCC staffers. While unlikely to derail the deal, every extra round of questions delays closing, and delays cost momentum. Over in Wales, Wrexham's commercial partners fielded calls from British tabloids fishing for quotes on whether the Hollywood circus might undermine the club's underdog narrative. Sponsors didn't bail, but they demanded morality clauses in contract renewals. Legal padding Reynolds never faced pre-Baldoni. Even his legendary social feed grew eerily quiet. Community managers activated filtered keywords, auto-hiding thousands of comments referencing court documents or Lively's alleged behavior. Fans who built their identity around witty back and forth suddenly saw replies disappear, muting the very engagement engine Reynolds leveraged for every product launch. The brand didn't break. It tightened, stiffened, like a grin held too long in a photo booth. Charm has always been Reynolds' insurance policy, but insurers raise premiums the moment small print looks shaky. Reynolds' quips have conquered box offices and sold mid-tier telecom plans. He once turned a Peloton backlash into a gin commercial in 24 hours. Yet sources from It Ends With Us claim the actor's wit turned acid whenever Baldoni entered the room. One story recounts Reynolds riffing on Deadpool's katana skills, great at slicing budgets and egos, while Baldoni adjusted camera angles. Crew laughed nervously, unsure whether it was scripted banter or live ammunition. Another leak suggested Reynolds mocked Baldoni's faith-based charities during pickup shots, muttering, "Pray harder, maybe the box office will listen." On Twitter, these anecdotes split the fandom. Some hailed them as classic Reynolds roast humor. Others labeled them corporate bullying disguised as improv. Marketing analysts noted a strange correlation. Spikes in Reynolds' meme activity coincided with every major court development, suggesting a deliberate strategy to drown legal chatter in LOL-worthy one-liners. That tactic worked flawlessly during past hiccups. A poorly reviewed film here, a dead-on-arrival pilot there. But lawsuits carry longer half-lives than bad Rotten Tomatoes scores, and jokes age badly when judges quote them as evidence. Baldoni's camp pounced, annexing screenshot compilations into exhibits that proved malicious intent. The more Reynolds joked, the thicker Baldoni's damages packet grew. Meanwhile, brand consultants whispered about tone deafness, reminding Reynolds that snark reads differently once you're in the dock. Spotlight charisma can be a shield, but chess masters know shields sometimes obscure your own pawns and leave the king exposed. Reynolds was still smiling. The question was whether he saw checkmate coming 4 moves ahead. Blake Lively's image had thrived on peach fuzz wholesomeness, DIY cake photos, goofy TikToks with Reynolds, and a closet full of Met Gala nostalgia. Yet the Kirsty incident detonated that bubble. The forgotten crew member posted a 30-second lament. Blake blanked me after promising a selfie. 6-hour shoot? Zero acknowledgement. TikTok's remix machine went feral, layering the clip with slow-motion eye rolls and violin tracks, titled "She Doesn't Even Go Here." Within 24 hours, #BlakeGate soared past 1 million impressions. Within 48, it landed on E! News Nightfeed. PR textbooks say respond fast. Apologize faster. Lively went dark. No tweet, no Notes app statement, just curated silence as fan threads dredged up every red carpet side-eye she'd ever given, stitching them into one grand Mean Girl montage. Digital anthropologists call this narrative crystallization. One viral anecdote becomes confirmation bias for every undecided viewer. Suddenly, Lively's earlier harassment complaint looked, fairly or not, like a counter-move against reputational damage. Not the spark. The backlash didn't fizzle. Etsy shops printed "Kirsty deserved better" merch. Gossip channels tallied apology-free days like a hostage countdown. Reynolds tried slipping a supportive GIF into his story. A lifted coffee mug captioned, "Mornings, am I right?" But commenters hijacked it with, "Tell Blake sorry first." Even brand partners for Lively's upcoming Betty Buzz sodas tiptoed, requesting crisis contingency slides before their fall launch. The couple's united front now looked like a fortress under siege, walls intact, but torch-bearing villagers circling. Marc Benioff loves a stage and a paradox. On CNBC, he assures viewers, AI will enhance humans, not replace them, while Salesforce quietly pilots chatbots capable of drafting code patches without a coffee break. Internally, leaked memos discuss phasing out junior developers within 18 months to optimize margin. Against that backdrop, Benioff's ownership of time looks less like philanthropy and more like message management. Soften fears. Sprinkle aspirational covers. Keep consumers dreaming instead of worrying. Enter Ari Emanuel, whose Endeavor portfolio relies on stars who must stay marketable through scandals, mergers, and box office busts. Emanuel's relationship with Reynolds is legendary. He pitched the actor as a full-stack brand, not just talent, turning every quip into ROI. If Baldoni's lawsuit risked flipping that narrative from cheeky disruptor to litigation risk, Emanuel needed a broad-spectrum antibiotic. A dual-cover story framed around kindness, influence, and corporate innovation fits perfectly. Inoculate public sentiment, influence advertiser comfort levels, and provide a Google search buffer of glossy images instead of court filings. Critics label this synergy white glove propaganda, smoother than traditional spin because media ownership, talent representation, and tech evangelism converge under the same high-altitude ski roof. Even if Reynolds isn't consciously pulling the levers, he benefits from a system designed to nudge public perception with algorithmic precision, and that machine rarely slows for collateral casualties. Whether they're junior coders sidelined by bots or co-stars buried under an influencer's hashtags, Reynolds might be an operator, or merely the brightest jewel in a billionaire's distraction crown. Either way, the gears keep turning long after the closing credits roll. We've traced 2 Shining Magazine trophies back to a hush-hush mountain retreat, watched a $400 million lawsuit weld itself onto a romance flick, and peeked behind the curtain where billionaires tweak narratives with AI tools more powerful than lie detectors. Somewhere in that labyrinth stands Ryan Reynolds, equal parts meme maestro, marketing mogul, and potential litigation target. Is he the chess player orchestrating his own PR renaissance, or a photogenic bishop sacrificed to protect a billionaire king? Now it's your move. Drop a comment. Mastermind or pawn. If you've spotted Easter egg clues we missed, court dates, brand pivots, strange silence from co-stars, call them out below. Smash subscribe because next week we're dissecting how celebrity charity galas might double as tax write-off circuses. And remember, in Hollywood's high-stakes mirror maze, every polished grin reflects another angle. You just have to choose which one to believe.